safety that put the Bruins on the board. At least, maybe hopefully for the Bruins' sake, got them to carry some momentum into today. 2-0 is high again, and Grind behind early. 3 balls and no strikes. The Ducks, after defeating UCLA yesterday, was their first win over the Bruins in about 2 years. The last time they did so was a 3-game series 2 years ago at the Jane in a 3-0 swing and a miss. Clemens getting the green light, but coming up empty.
Yeah, and last year when these two teams played at Easton Stadium in Westwood in California, UCLA swept them 2-0. The third game was unfortunately canceled. So it was all Bruin down there. Let's see what it is here in Oregon.
Grind 3-1. That's a called strike. She's battled back. The count's now full.
And Lindsey Grind, part of the reason why she's so great is just the velocity and the rise ball she brings to the circle. It's absolutely devastating, Aiden.
So from 3-0 to 3-2, first payoff. Swinging a foul ball, and Clemens stays alive to see another. Jessica Clemens on the season, the senior, batting .389, making her 46th start in as many games played for the Bruins this year. 3 home runs and 32 RBIs. Another 3-2. This one swatted at down the left field line, and it's going to get into Oregon's bullpen. Back-to-back foul balls.
And Clemens is one of the most experienced players. I mean, this might be her first year at UCLA, but she was Big West Player of the Year last year at Cal Poly, and she had what a career she had at Cal Poly. St. Louis Obispo, one of the greatest players in their softball history, Aiden.
So we're going to get ready for the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Already a big-time battle. Grind against Clemens.
Every at-bat in this game, Aiden, is just so important. You just kind of feel the tension bouncing throughout the Jane Sanders Stadium.
What does Grind go to after 2 previous foul balls? The 3-2 home is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. A nice start for Lindsey Grind in the circle. And it's 1 batter up and 1 batter down for the Ducks here in the top of the first.
Lindsey Grind, just low heat at the bottom of the zone, just gets it at the knees. And you might think that's a bit outside, but just paints the corner. The command she has really showing out in that first at-bat.
So Grind struck out 8 Bruins last night, starts her day with a K. Now the new batter, Savannah Pola, steps in, and she takes outside 1-0. Savannah Pola, another senior for UCLA, a strong .448 average, 8 home runs, 42 RBIs. 1-0, another called strike.
And if you look at as well that, Aiden, the OPS, I mean, it's off the charts. She just does such a good job in this 2-hole, just, getting on and letting her cleanup hitters do a lot of the work and getting her scored in.
Ducks defense played in at the corners. Flannery in at third, McCoy in at first. The 1-1, check swing, and the home plate umpire says she went around. Umpires today behind the dish, Vince Price at first, John Baca, and at third base, Ron Burkhart. Those are the guys in blue. So Grind jumps ahead. A ball and 2 strikes. Pitch to Pola. On the outside, but a little bit wide. Trying to grab that corner again was Grind.
Now that Emma Cox is back from injury, Grind can also try to get back into the groove of pitching to the freshman and forming that battery.
2-2. And nibbling on that corner again, but not getting the call, and it's going to be back-to-back full counts through the first 2 batters in this one. UCLA comes into this game a record of 40-6. The Ducks snapped a 12-game Bruin win streak last night. The 3-2 pitch swung and fouled straight back. Oregon 40-4 on the season, 13-1 in Big Ten Conference play. UCLA 12-2. Bruins looking to try to even this series up and force a rubber match tomorrow. Ducks trying to secure a series win. The 3-2 again, another check swing bouncer that goes to the backstop. Another foul ball.
We were talking about this earlier in pregame, Aiden, but how important this series is for both of these Big Ten teams. I mean, whoever wins this will have sole possession of the Big Ten lead. So there's so much riding on this series.
So Grind got the last batter out in 8 pitches. Can she do it again? Pitch number 8 of this AB. The full count pitch is another called strike 3. The same place and the same result. Back-to-back backwards Ks for Lindsey Grind to start the afternoon.
Lindsey Grind, just such a great pitch. Again, Same kind of idea, same spot, just a bit more in. Very sure of it. Just the heater at the bottom of the zone, Aiden.
So with 2 down and the bases empty, it brings up Jordan Woolery. First righty Grind has to face today. First pitch to her, in there, 0-1.
Woolery managed to get a walk yesterday versus Grind, so gonna try to take something like that into this at-bat maybe.
See the numbers for Woolery. Very strong, obviously batting third in this Bruin lineup, and off speed a little bit tight to Woolery. It's 1-1.
And she was a hitter that was in such a hot streak, 11-game hitting streak to open up Big Ten play, and recently going into the series just cooled off a little bit, but still enough to be in this 3 spot.
1-1 home. Woolery swings, drives this one out to left field, but Kai Lushar had it played perfectly, sized it up, twisting near the line, and made the catch. Good start for Lindsey Grind and the Ducks. The Bruins go down in order 1-2-3 through a half inning of play. 6th inning yesterday for the Ducks. They put Oregon ahead 3-0. They won 3-1. First pitch, Lushar takes up and in. Going at 67 miles an hour out of the hands of Fischer. That is heat.
And Addison Fischer with the co-freshman of the week, when Stephanie Maake with the co-freshman of the week 3 weeks ago.
Pitch to Lushar, a little dribbler down to third, scooped it by Woolery, turns to first. It's going to be close, just in time. What a play. Jordan Woolery on to Megan Grant at first, and we'll see if the Ducks want to challenge this. The Duck crowd definitely disagrees, so we get another look. Kind of just a swinging bunt, bare hand by Woolery, the throw to first. It's really close.
I mean, that is photo finish, but what a play from Woolery. Whether that's an out or not, that could be close from that angle. But to bare hand that, going down, keep your balance, throw it down to first. What a play from Jordan Woolery nonetheless.
Kedri Lushar is still standing at first base. I think she thinks she beats it out. UCLA obviously thinks they got her out, but I believe we're probably going to get a review on that play. But either way, even if it does get overturned, it's really close, bang, bang. But what a play by Jordan Woolery. And a bare hand and sling it over there to get the speedy Lushar.
Unbelievable, and that's why you have kind of the corners in. You have such a great player like Jordan Woolery playing up the hot corner, just able to kind of read that off the bat, go down, field it, bare-hand it, and throw it down. Just so much that goes into that. That is not routine at all, and she makes it look easy.
So already 2 batters into the game, and we have a review, 4 pitches to be exact. As we get another look, infield was playing in. Woolery had a charge kind of in between the circle and the plate through to first, and it is almost simultaneous.
Yeah, I think when it's something like that, they would end up giving it to the runner. So I wouldn't be surprised the umpires come out to see Kedri Lushar safe on this one.
So here we go. We're going to get the call. And it is overturned. It is an infield single for Kedri Lushar by about maybe a fraction of a step, but it still counts. First hit of the day for either team, an infield single for Kedri Lushar of the Ducks.
Yeah, and those reviews, Aiden, they're just so pivotal in momentum. I mean, even this early in the game, if something just doesn't go your way, you kind of feel a weight on your shoulders if you're the Bruins. There's already a little bit of an unlucky streak to start the day, but you need to move forward if you're Addison Fischer and worry about Riley McCoy.
So here's Riley McCoy, who hit a solo shot in the bottom of the 4th inning for Oregon last night that put the Ducks ahead 1-0. She's up to 14 home runs in the season, and Riley McCoy has tied the program record for most home runs in a single season by a freshman hitter. Fisher's first pitch, McCoy taking, and popping out of the crouch is Mujica, but it was a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, nothing about McCoy screams freshman. She's reliable, cool-headed, confident, and able to hit the ball to every part of the field. She's very refined.
The 1-0 McCoy watches drop ball miss, and it's 2-0. The Ducks with only 3 hits last night. They've already gotten 1 here in the first inning. Lushar with good speed on first base. The 2-0 McCoy. Big rip and a miss. The throw down to second. Lushar is going to be safe as the ball got dislodged out of the glove of the shortstop, Kanaya Bragg. Probably would have been out. She was able to hold on to that one, but it's a stolen base.
And a great throw down from Mujica behind the dish over to Kanaya Bragg. Just not able to glove it. And that was a really close play, as you see on the replay right there. If she was able to keep that softball in her glove, Kedri Lushar is out at second.
So Luchar stays perfect on swiping bags this season now. 100%, 23 attempts on 23 stolen bases. So now runner in scoring position. The 2-1 McCoy, a little dribbler towards shortstop. Bragg has it, throws on a first, a little bit wide, but Grant able to recollect her footing and complete the put out. That's the second out of the inning as Luchar now moves up to third.
And that's such good concentration from Bragg, just to field that through kind of the disturbance in your vision from Kedri Luchar.
Brings up the Ducks cleanup hitter, their catcher, Emma Cox. One of the freshmen new to this Oregon team, and she has been hitting the ball well in just her first season here in Eugene. First pitch from Fischer, a swing and a miss, 0-1. Emma Cox, 4 home runs, 20 runs batted in, although she did suffer an injury on the home opener back in early March against San Diego, kept her out for the rest of non-con play and most of Big Ten Conference play. The 0-1 Cox, another foul ball. She's behind 0-2. Gracie Rosa was filling in Cox's absence, and credit Rosa, she did a phenomenal job. But Emma Cox back healthy again. Returned against the Minnesota Golden Gophers on the road last week. Going to try to drive in a run here. Fischer's 0-2. Cox, a little flinch, but it is outside. Appeal down to first. Did not go.
And when she came back versus Minnesota in that away series, she proceeded to go on a 4-game hitting streak, ending last night versus the Bruins. So she's been great recently.
Cox dribbles it foul again. She came up clutch on Wednesday, a midweek game for the Ducks. In the rivalry series against the Oregon State Beavers, the Ducks were down 3-2 in the top of the 7th on the road in Corvallis. Cox with a slap single to right field, plated 2 runs, put the Ducks ahead 4-3, and held on to win against Oregon State 5-3 on Wednesday. The 1-2 pitch, inside down by the shoe tops, 2-2.
Yeah, like you're saying about Emma Cox, this kind of represents this whole Oregon team. Anybody can step up, and they can all step up in the clutch, and that's such an important feature to have on your championship potential softball roster.
Fischer trying to put up a 0 in the first. Cox, a little dribbler, back to the circle. It's scooped up by Fischer. Her throw to first. Cox is not a great runner, and they retire her 1-3 on the putout. Ducks get a base hit and steal a base. Bragg and Riley Slimp, 4, 5, and 6, 2 up for UCLA.
Yeah, and this decision to go to Chambers, it could be the lefty-lefty matchup. Also, Chambers hasn't been really great through the first 3 hitters in the first
The
inning.
0-1 Grant pops it up. Cox is looking for it. Lost it, found it for a moment, and reaches over her shoulders to make the catch in foul ground. That is a big out for the Ducks. A huge hitter to retire here in the second.
And a great job from Emma Cox just to kind of find that one in the sun. That's high up, and the sun's beaming here in Eugene, Aiden. So able to spot that and bring it in, give Stacey Chambers that easy first out on dangerous hitter.
So 1 out on just 2 pitches brings up Kanaya Bragg, the Bruins shortstop. Lefty-righty matchup now. First pitch from Chambers. Runs outside, 1-0. For Kanaya Bragg, she made a couple of defensive plays at short back in the first inning, hitting to a .327 average, 6 home runs, 31 RBIs. The 1-0. This one hit hard past the shortstop spot. Sinicki couldn't get to it and into left field. It's the first hit of the day for UCLA, a 1-out single off the bat of Kanaya Bragg.
In UCLA yesterday, they were definitely not strangers to hitting singles, but beyond that, they couldn't really get much. So can they really turn the script here? Just a good swing from Bragg. Hands quick to the ball, kind of inside pitch, able to drive that to Sinicki's side.
Bruins left 7 runners on base and only had 1 extra base hit. It was the 7th inning home run. That one runs way inside to Riley Slimp, 1-0. Slimp recorded 2 hits last night, both of them singles. .1-0 from Chambers. Swinging this one is hit the other way towards left field. Luchar has space, makes the catch down near the line and throws in a bullet back to Sinicki. Good job by Chambers pitching to contact and just letting the batters get themselves out.
Yeah, really, and you know you have such a great defense behind you. Oregon, top 5 in fielding percentage in the nation. So know your defense well, and your defense has your back, especially Kai Luchar and left.
2 outs and a runner on first. Brings up the designated player, Alexis Ramirez. Chambers starts her off and off speed in there, 0-1. Ramirez 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in this season. Has not played or started as many games as her teammates. This is just her 16th start and as many appearances. The 0-1 outside.
Went over 3 yesterday with 2 strikeouts. And now facing an unfamiliar pitcher to her.
Stacey Chambers did not appear in last night's game. It was just Lindsey Grine and Elise Sokolski that went the full 7 for the Ducks yesterday. The 1-1, Chambers. This one is down the line. It is fair, tucked inside the corner. And now going first to third is Bragg. She gets there. It's a long single off the bat of Alexis Ramirez. Good job by Luchard to keep her from getting any further. But now the Bruins in business trying to spark a 2-out rally.
And another just great hit, pulling it down the line. On the lefty-righty, when you get the heater just kind of over the heart of the play, you're able to kind of go wherever you want. And Alexis Ramirez drove it down the left field line, and too fast for Kai Luchard to really make a play, as these Oregon fans have really been accustomed to seeing this year.
It's going to send the catcher up to bat for UCLA, Sofia Mujica. And a meeting in the circle for the Ducks as head coach Lombardi is out to talk to the home plate umpire, Vince Price. Couple arms warming up in Oregon's bullpen. It looked like it's Elise Sokolski and Taylor Spencer out there. And I believe might have a pitching change here. You see the shot of Oregon's bullpen.
Yeah, Sokolski's kind of near that bullpen wall, and she's coming out, Aiden.
And we're going to have a pitching change, so Stacey Chambers gets 2 outs, but also surrenders 2 hits. Elise Sokolski trying to get 1 more in the top of the 7th and post to 0. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Bruins have Bruins catcher Sofia Mujica. First pitch to her, a strike. Grine got the save last night for the Ducks. Came in relief when Oregon just had a 1-0 lead. Trying to keep this thing scoreless here in the top of the 2nd. Sokolski's 0-1, high and outside. Cox tried to bring it back, but it was a ball.
And Elise Sokolski has just been able to fill every single role for Oregon, whether it's out of the bullpen, coming in to close the game for an inning, finish off a game, start, anything like that. She's really been a workhorse and a utility.
1-1 pitch, way out in front, pulling the string on that changeup was Sokolski.
And that's what Sokolski kind of does best. Chase you with the velocity, get you kind of in that mindset, and pulls the string easily.
Jane's starting to get loud. 1 strike away from putting up a 0. Sokolski's 1-2 is popped up high to center field. Luchard drifting back, but she has space. Makes the catch right on the edge of the... Here's Paige Sinicki, the senior shortstop for Oregon. Looks at the first pitch right down the middle, 0-1.
Sinicki's been moved down a bit. The lineup usually batting that 2nd after Kai Luchard, now in the 5th.
And the 0-1. Sinicki tops it foul. Quickly behind 0-2. Paige Sinicki's has batted in a lot of different spots this season. Last year's pretty much was just penciled into the 9 spot in 2024 for the Ducks. Really improved her game offensively. Batting in the 2 hole for a while, but right in the middle of the lineup, batting 5th. The 0-2, she ropes it down the line towards Oregon's dugout.
Yeah, she's really done a great job, Aiden, of making herself more of a complete player. I mean, she was a Gold Glover last year. Definitely teetering on that this year. Just great still there at the 6 hole in the shortstop, but also has that pop now, hitting for the high average. Really making herself as complete as possible.
The 0-2, Sinicki swings and misses. Cut through a pitch down and in from Fischer. It's her first strikeout of the afternoon for the first out here in the 2nd.
Addison Fischer just gets it in on Sinicki. Pumped up about that one. Passionate in the circle.
Brings up Des Patman. First pitch, a rip and a miss. Just laid on it from Fischer. Patman, 8 home runs, 24 RBIs. She's been a really nice addition to this Ducks roster after transferring from New Mexico State. The 0-1, Patman. Another foul ball.
She's really been a consistent glue kind of in this bottom part of the lineup, 7-6, around that kind of area. And she's really proven it. 317 average. And just kind of coming up in clutch moments as well when she's needed.
She's got good extra base hit power as well, 14 of them on the season. The 0-2, chopped down the third baseline foul.
She can also hit to every single part of the field. I mean, I've seen her homer to right field, left, center. Can kind of go wherever she needs, and that's just such a good player to have. Just knows the assignment, and senior, veteran presence.
Fischer trying to strike her out. The 0-2 is pretty close, but just outside for ball one. I think that's been the story in the circle right now for UCLA. Addison Fischer has jumped ahead of a lot of these Duck hitters. Has yet to face a 3-ball count so far. That one bounces in, and now it's 2-2.
You're doing a good job of attacking. And this Oregon lineup, Melissa Lombardi talks about it, you know, attack first, be aggressive, kind of get on the board, really. And Addison Fischer just going to keep pitching aggressive as well, doing her thing.
Here's her 2-2 pitch. Patman, good eye, watches it sail in above the zone. And now from 0-2, it's a full count, and this will be the first 3-ball count Fischer has to endure today.
This is where you really need to be rock solid and really trust your stuff.
Payoff. Patman pops it up the other way, giving chase the first baseman Grant, but it is 2 rows deep behind the protective netting for a foul ball.
And that'll be a nice souvenir. First one of the day.
The Ducks did not walk at all last night. They struck out 4 times. And a 3-1 win on Friday against UCLA. Long battle, Patman against Fischer. The 8th pitch of the AB coming up. And here it is. Patman takes strike 3 called. A buckling off-speeder locks up Patman. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 2nd inning for Addison Fischer.
And if you're Patman, you're just not really expecting that. Kind of maybe looking for something a bit lower, but that one just scrapes the top of the zone, drops in there. Good decision to go to that pitch.
And a shot up to bat, bases empty, 2 on, and almost got hit with that one as it rode up and in, 1-0. And I think that's confidence for Fischer. Full count, pressure pitch, you go with your secondary stuff. Not always the easiest to land, and she did it right there.
Yeah, you really have to trust everything in your arsenal, and she has full control of it through these first 2.
1-0, Shaw takes in again. I think Fischer just trying to jam her. Infield defense played well in for UCLA all around the diamond, but the corner infielders, Woolery and Grant, in front of their respective bases. Shaw definitely known to drop one down for a bunt. The 2-0 takes high, and it's 3-0.
Ayana Shaw kind of came back from injury, but was only used as a pinch runner for a good part of the last month or 2, but now kind of getting a full spot in this lineup.
3-0 strike. Yeah, you're right, Dylan. She suffered an injury in an early non-con season tournament. She was starting most of the early season games for the Ducks. They opened up their season in Las Vegas, but finding her way back into the lineup as she takes ball 4. It's just the second base runner of the day for the Ducks in their first walk of this series. A 2-out base on balls to Ayana Shaw.
And you go from kind of winning that 3-2 battle to then walking a player that you don't really want to have on first base. Ayana Shaw, like you said, known for her speed, and we could see a little bit of ruckus on the base paths as the Ducks tend to cause.
First pitch to Kaylin Jones. That one inside. And Dylan, definitely you're right. Oregon, a team that loves to run up and down the bases. They broke their single season mark for stolen bags in a season. 1-0. Jones takes outside this time, 2-0. So after we said just before that Fischer was doing a good job establishing the zone, getting ahead of these Duck hitters, that's kind of wavered a little bit through these last 2 batters. First the walk to Shaw, now behind Jones, 2-0. Pitch home. Jones chops that one towards first. Grant has it and just going to tag the runner for the 3rd and final out. Ducks get a 2-out walk. They strand a runner, and good, you don't even taste the stuff they don't like. So top of the 3rd inning, Elise Sokolski in the circle for the Ducks delivers the first pitch high to Caitlin Terry, playing right field for UCLA. 9-1-2 in the Bruins order. Due up Terry, Clements, and Pola. 2 hits so far for the Bruins, just 1 for the Ducks. Sokolski's 1-0. High again.
Elise Sokolski came in last inning, settled it down after those 2 runners on, and now we'll see if she goes the distance, as definitely can.
2-0 pitch. Another bunt attempt, but Terry pulls back, and I say she did successfully, so it's 3-0. And catcher for Oregon, Emma Cox, is going to go out to meet with her battery mate. Already the 3rd pitcher used in this game for the Ducks, but I think it was by design. Lindsey Grine opened this game for Oregon. Sat down the Bruins 1-2-3 in the first. Stacey Chambers came in, got 2 outs, but also allowed 2 hits, and then Elise Sokolski had to clean up the mess to post a 0 in the top of the 2nd. But back out there to begin the 3rd, and behind in the count to Caitlin Terry, 3-0.
Yeah, I definitely think you're definitely right, as well as Stacey Chambers. Not really great in starting roles, not really great in the first inning this year for the Ducks, so got her in for the lefty batters.
3-0's in there for a strike. Terry on the season, a sophomore, batting .260, 1 home run and 15 RBIs.
Also locked down on the mound.
3-1, that's a strike. Sokolski battles back. You're right, Caitlin Terry also pitches as well. We've yet to see her in this series, however. From 3-0 to 3-2, here's Sokolski's payoff. It is outside ball 4. And after all that, it is a 6-pitch walk to the 9-hitter in the Bruins order, and they get the leadoff runner on here in the 3rd.
Getting these leadoff runners will just be key and able to drive them home for UCLA. I mean, it's going to be the story, and we're going to repeat ourselves, Aiden, but 7 runners on base. Didn't score really any of them. The only run came from a solo shot from the batter up now. I mean, UCLA really just needs to turn things around. They got a runner in the 3rd last inning and couldn't bring them home.
Here's Jessica Clements, now at the top of the UCLA lineup. Infield played in for the Ducks. First pitch to Clements, a bunt attempt, but it's a called strike. She struck out looking against Lindsey Grine in the 1st. She's a tough player to strike out. Only now 14 of them on the season. The 0-1. Upstairs, Cox had to jump out of the crouch to catch it.
Clements did go deep on Sokolski last night to kind of bring within 2 runs. Not able to do anything after that were the Bruins, but familiar matchup.
Here's the 1-1. Clemens poked. It's outside. They appeal down the 1st. No bunt attempt. She pulled back. It's 2-1. There's a lot going on that pitch sequence. Really close, borderline call.
Absolutely showed the bunt. It could be the threat as corner infields are in.
2-1 in favor of the batter. Runner on first for UCLA, no score, top of the 3rd. And the 2-1. A chopper to shortstop. Sinicki bobbles it, and it gets away, and everyone's going to be safe. A play that she makes, I'd say probably about 99 times out of 100, but the one time Sinicki doesn't, works out for UCLA. Back-to-back base runners for the Bruins.
Yeah, and that Gold Glove turning to brittle just on that infield grounder.
And they have scored it in error, a rare error by Paige Sinicki. Now meeting in the circle for the Ducks of the Bruins have something brewing here in the 3rd inning.
It's always something to talk about when error kind of happens, able to calm down whoever made the mistake, but Paige Sinicki has such a veteran mentality, and if there's anyone on this Ducks team that can kind of put something in the past and, be a goldfish, so to say, it's her.
Gotta have a short-term memory out there. Really, in any sport, forget about the mistakes. Focus on the then and now. Runner on 2nd and a runner on 1st for UCLA. Pola up to bat. She bunts, grounds it to 3rd. Flannery thought about 2nd, decides to go to 1st to the 2nd baseman. Jones covering in time for the out, but it's a successful sacrifice for the Bruins as now they advance both runners into scoring position.
Now there's such a threat, and that was a great job by Pola And she's done this so well kind of all year in that 2 spot, kind of does what's needed to advance the runner, does what's needed to kind of help the team out, and great sacrifice bunt just down that third base line.
So here's Jordan Woolery. 0 for 1. She lined out to Kai Lushar in left field in the first inning. Takes the first pitch from Sokolsky. A strike.
If Sokolsky can get out of this, it would be a massive boost for Oregon.
Dangerous hitter up at the dish and a dangerous hitter on deck. Megan Grant would be up next. The 0-1 shot the other way in a foul ball. Sokolsky ahead 0-2. And Dylan, this is what we talked about last night for the Bruins, and last inning they left a couple runners on base. Just being able to hit with runners in scoring position, that's something that UCLA has struggled in so far this series.
Yeah, it's going to be someone. It's going to be Jordan Woolery or Megan Grant. Megan Grant with all of her grand slams and the crazy statistics. One of them has to do it.
The 0-2. Pop fly to left field. It's pretty well hit in right field. Shaw is going to make the catch to throw home, and there won't be one at the plate. Tagging from third and scoring is Caitlin Terry, and the Bruins have their first lead of the series. It's 1-0 UCLA.
Great job from Woolery. Was able to get contact to that pitch from Sokolsky, and it may not have been pretty, but that's all you really need. Just score the run, get on the board first, and getting on the board first in softball is so important.
It's not a hit with runners in scoring position, but it's an RBI with runners in scoring position. Megan Grant up to bat now, took the first pitch for a ball.
It might be intentionally walking her.
And it looks like they are. Emma Cox is out of the crouch. And we saw the Ducks walk Grant last night. Just, I think whenever you have a base open with a runner on, that seems to be the strategy.
You know, it's not really that surprising. I mean, when you have such a dangerous hitter and you have, like you said, the runner on third. Grant wasn't able to do it yesterday, but, you know, just her prowess.
So the Ducks just not messing around, not even wanting to play that game against Megan Grant, giving her the Bonds treatment, if you will. That kind of makes sense, right? She leads the nation in home runs. But it sets up a force on the infield. Ducks can go the short way to second if that opportunity arises. So now same situation the Bruins had in the second inning. Runners on the corners. They already have a run in here, and Kanaya Bragg is the batter. It's already 1 for 1 today, singled to back in the second inning. Sokolsky's first pitch, and it gets away from Cox, and then Grant is just going to scamper up to second base. So now 2 runners in scoring position for UCLA.
And that runner just now on second, just ever more intimidating for Emma Cox. And Sokolsky, that one just found a bit too much dirt, and no way to really block that. Hard from both ends.
The 1-0 to Bragg. Down low, good block by Cox behind the dish. Got to be on your toes as a catcher. I know it's not a stat, but a CRS, catcher's run saved, to prevent a wild pitch.
Yeah, especially with the runner on third just kind of breathing down your neck, it seems like. So much pressure there. You need to be on top of your game.
2-0 to Bragg. Outside again, it's 3-0. A walk wouldn't be the worst thing for the Ducks. It would load up the bases, but obviously with first base open, you'd set up another force.
Yeah, you definitely can't give something really over the heart of the play, as Kanaya Bragg shot that to left field last time.
Riley Slimp is on deck for the Bruins. Sokolsky's 3-0, and that one skips low and in, and it gets away from Cox. It's going to be a run for UCLA. Clements recognizing it and reading it, speeds home, and the Bruins take a 2-0 advantage. It was ball 4 to Bragg. She walks, and now runners on the corners with another run in for UCLA.
That's another pass ball for Sokolsky, and that's a third pitch that's kind of like that, trying to get that heater up kind of at the knee of the zone, but just skims the floor, and really just 3 pitches in that at bat that you want to forget.
Yeah, and that's tough because you have the wild pitch to open that at bat, and then you have the wild pitch to close the at bat, and I think that just kind of threw off the whole rhythm of what Oregon was trying to do. But it works out for UCLA. A sacrifice fly and then a wild pitch, then the reason UCLA's plated 2 runs.
Yeah, and they got their first 2 runs kind of that they've really had, minus that one run shot in the latter stages of yesterday's game. But being able to strike early is going to do UCLA a lot of good.
2-0 Bruins, top of the third inning, and this inning is continuing now for Riley Slim. Lefty that flew out to left field in the second inning, 0 for 1 today. First pitch from Sokolsky, called strike, needed that.
Get something riding in the zone, even if it's down the middle.
It had been 8 straight balls delivered by Sokolsky, although the first 4 in that streak were of the intentional variety. Pitch is a little bit low and outside. I'll say the Bruins have scratched across 2 runs without a hit in this inning.
Those are just kind of mental mistakes from the Ducks and kind of just hurting yourself at some point, and they talk about that all the time.
And this one is driven out to left center field. Luchar is there, however, to make the catch and end the inning. So as aforementioned, the Bruins score. It's the first pitch from Fischer in there for a strike. Flannery has been a little bit cold, I think, as of recently. He was just killing it at the start of Big Ten play, was mashing home runs left and right against the Washington Huskies as she crowns another one foul.
And Flannery has such a pure swing, and when she can get a hold of one, she kind of pulls it down that left field line, just perfect home run distance. It's just whether she can really get the contact is kind of where it comes into play.
It's big time power, 9 homers and 41 runs batted in. Behind 0-2, Fischer's pitch. Flannery pops this one up a mile high, shallow left field. The shortstop Bragg, fighting the sun, makes the catch one-handed for the first out.
And usually, Char, specifically her, she's one of the leaders in this in the nation in stolen bases at in second, and she's also the Oregon all-time single-season stolen base leader now at 45.
Makes another strike. Fischer jumping ahead of her, 0-2. 0 for 1 today is Kai Luchar, grounded out to shortstop to begin the ball game in the first. And the 0-2, Luchar, tapper, right back to the circle. Easy play to Fischer, throws onto the second baseman, Pola, who was covering, and they get the first out. Interesting defensive alignment there for UCLA. Everyone knows about Kai Luchar's speed. That's why everyone just crashing in down in all spots of the infield.
Yeah, you have to have such a good read on it, because we talk about this all the time. Kai Luchar, if you can get her down to first, it's almost like she's at second sometimes because of her speed, and the 45 stolen bases speaks for itself. So, good job by Addison Fischer just to get the soft contact, little chopper, and the defense interestingly aligned, but correctly aligned, Aiden.
So a quick stoppage as batter up for Oregon, Kedri Luchar, has a couple of words with third base coach and assistant coach Sam Martyr. Fischer has been good so far. Already recorded 8 outs, looking for the 9th. Trying to post her 3rd consecutive 0. Luchar swats at the first pitch, grounds it to shortstop. Bragg's throw in time for the out. 1 pitch and 1 out. Luchar is retired. Ducks to the backstop for ball 1.
And something really hasn't been clicking for Sokolsky in these last 2 innings since she's come into relief. Usually such a good presence in the circle and rock solid, but the heater's just been getting away from her, whether it's down or up.
And actually, it's going to be a pinch hitter in for UCLA. Riley Pinedo is another bad miss. Sails above the helmet of the batter, and it's 2-0, and Cox is going to go out to talk to her. And you're right, Dylan, she's missed up a lot of those pitches. I mean, it's an easy takes for UCLA. So the pinch hitter in for the Bruins, Riley Pinedo, takes the place for Alexis Ramirez. And for Pinedo this year, a .333 average, has appeared in 33 games but only started 1. So definitely a bench weapon for the Bruins. No homers and 1 RBI. Ahead of Sokolsky, 2-0. The Ducks righty deals home and fires in a strike. 2-1.
And that's such a pivotal strike to throw if you're Sokolsky. Had Emma Cox standing up And she's a tall player. Had her fully standing up to get the other two. That one able to stay down in her crouch.
Here's the 2-1. High again. 3 balls and a strike. I mean, I guess if you want to miss, up there where it's really hard to make contact. You don't want to miss right down the middle. That's where UCLA can really burn you, as Cox is out to talk to Sokolsky again. This one a little bit of a quicker meeting.
It's so interesting. You don't really see this from Elise Sokolsky. Kind of, I don't know if it's nerves or just the ball's just not coming out of the hand the way she wants it to, but it's unfamiliar for her as well.
Shadow being cast over the plate as the day progresses. 3-1. Pinedo taking all the way. Takes a strike. Count is now full.
Able to fight back already. Sokolsky, this would be big if she can get this strikeout or just any put away really for her confidence.
The 3-2. Off the end of the bat, caught at third by Flannery. Had it played perfectly, was hugging that third base line and sees the ball fall right into her glove for out number 1 here in the 4th.
That's a great play by Flannery. And she's at the hot corner for a reason. Able to kind of get that one. That one's scorching off the bat, Aiden. But no biggie for her, and that's why the third baseman's so important. Able to grab anything like that.
Big out for Sokolsky and the Ducks to start off the 4th. Here's the catcher, Sofia Mujica. First pitch, she swings, skies it to right field. Shaw is over in the gap, trotting in a couple steps, makes the catch two-handed for the second out. Good job by Sokolsky pitching to contact and sitting the first 2 Bruins down here in the 4th.
And what a way to kind of come back after those tough 3 pitches where you had to go in a bit wild. Kind of reel it in now. Get both outs back to back. And what a way to calm your nerves.
As the 9th hitter in UCLA's order, Caitlin Terry takes an off-speed a little bit outside. Cox tried to frame it, but did not get the call from the home plate umpire, Vince Price. Terry got things started for the Bruins in the 3rd inning. Walked and came around to score the first of 2 Bruin runs. She swings and misses at that pitch. It's now 1-1.
The last inning was a messy inning for Sokolsky in this Oregon defense. And like I said, Terry was the one that got it started.
One popped over to the shortstop, coming in. Kedri Luchard dives and it glances off her glove, kicks out to her sister Kai. She'll throw it into Sinicki, but hustling out of the box to get a double. Caitlin Terry with 2 outs, running all the way. Turns it into a 2-bagger with 2 outs.
And a good attempt in center from Kedri Luchard. That play she can usually make, but that one just tailing a bit too far to the left on the little bloop. What could have been a single, and then the dive and the ricochet makes it a double.
Now flips it over for the top of the order. Good job by the Bruins 9-hitter. A walk and now a double, 1 for 1. Back up top, Jessica Clemens. Pitch to her, swatted foul back to the screen. Clemens today 0 for 2. She struck out looking in the first and reached on an error on the 3rd. That error, I think, really messed with Oregon. Paige Sinicki, a ball that she'll probably tell you she can make that play. The Bruins scored 2 runs in the 3rd without a hit. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss.
That's a good pitch to get Clemens to kind of swing through. And that does a lot if you're Sokolsky, kind of knowing you have the swing and miss stuff today.
Home crowd trying to cheer on Sokolsky. 0-2 to Clements. High, Cox bobbles it, but the runner Terry not going anywhere.
Support of the Lions Den, Melissa Lombardi and the whole team really calls it, is very pivotal for Sokolsky.
Here's the 1-2 offering. Ground ball to Sinicki. Backs up on the backhand, throws to first in time. Crafty play by Oregon's Gold Glover ends the top of the 4th inning for the Bruins. A hit, it was a double by Terry with 2 outs, but she's left stranded at second base. We're going to the bottom of the 4th, UCLA 2, Oregon nothing. We come back here on Big Ten Plus. Tomorrow on Easter Sunday, it should be a fun one. Riley McCoy, Emma Cox, and Paige Sinicki do up the Heart of Oregon's order, and they got to get the gears into motion, being shut out so far. First pitch from Fischer misses to McCoy, 1-0.
McCoy able to advance a runner last time with a ground out, advanced the runner to third. Nothing to come for it for the Ducks.
The 1-0 McCoy tops it down the line, foul, 1-1. Season last night, now leads the team. 1-1, another foul ball. Second place in the home run department for Oregon is Stephanie Maake, but she's not in the lineup. Did not appear in Friday night's game nor today. Now 3 games in a row that Maake has not taken part in. Fischer's 1-2 pitch is a little bit outside, 2-2.
Yeah, it's interesting about Maake. A big story for this Oregon team has been the duo of McCoy and Stephanie Maake, kind of being that 1-2 punch with the power they both possess. But like you said, Maake just kind of been faded out of the lineup since Emma Cox returned.
2-2 dips in by the shins. Now the count is full. Ducks with just 2 base runners so far today. Addison Fischer looks good in her return to her home state of Oregon. 3-2, McCoy down the left field line, coming on his slimp, crashes hard into the wall. I think kind of lost her balance trying to go after that ball. It's foul. And we'll see if Riley's slimp is okay. That was a tough tumble.
Yeah, you kind of go head first, and the commitment to kind of make a play on that, and yeah, that's a rough one to take, kind of full torso kind of bending back. Talking to her center fielder, Jessica Clements. She seems okay, got up pretty quickly.
And UCLA's going to send out the trainer to talk to her.
They're definitely laughing about it.
She got up rather quickly, but that was a full face plant into that wall. Thankfully, there is a little bit of padding, and now the trainer's going to leave Slim's presence, and to a nice applause of the Duck fans here in attendance, seems like she is A-okay and going to stay in this ball game.
Yeah, you see the trainers, they came sprinting out.
Yeah.
You know, they came to Tracktown. They understand the assignment.
Yeah.
Sprint out at the sound of the gun, just over to Slim. They laugh it out, and glad to see she's okay. That's always a tough one to take when you're so committed to kind of getting that fly ball.
So after a quick break in the action, both the batter and the pitcher are going to have to lock back in. Riley McCoy against Addison Fischer in a full count, bases empty with no one out. In the bottom of the 4th, Bruins 2, Ducks nothing. Fischer's payoff pitch. McCoy swings that one on the ground to shortstop. Bragg has it, throws on to first. A good play made. Got down to one knee, a little bit of a slide, got up and threw out McCoy for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th.
That is a great play by Kanaya Bragg. Just backhand on the knee with the slide. Going to your right. Don't really take any of their pump throws. You just kind of throw that down. And the ability to kind of have that strength in your arm to get it down to first, and a pretty good time as well.
Emma Cox up to bat for Oregon. Sees the first pitch skip in 1-0. Cox today 0 for 1. She grounded back to the circle to end the first inning. The 1-0. Cox, a ground ball foul down the third baseline.
And before her injury, she was making headlines. Big Ten Player of the Week, as well as one of the top performers during preseason and tournament season when the Ducks were road tripping the southwest of the United States. And the injury came. A bit unfortunate for her.
The 1-1, this one floated. First baseman Grant says she has it. Couple of steps to the right of the bag, she makes the catch. Cox pops out, and now there's 2 away here in the 4th.
And Addison Fischer really established herself. The first inning, probably the most she's really faced from this Ducks offense, and Oregon needs to get going if they want to kind of get a stake in this game.
Shinicki is the batter for Oregon. A little check swing, incidental contact that went off her bat, a foul ball. It's kind of the ones you just dread as a batter. Nothing you can really do about it. Just ball comes inside, ends up glancing off your bat, and now you're behind 0-1.
Yeah, just definitely an oddity.
So Shinicki tops that one to third. Woolery has it, slings it across the diamond, and is another easy breezy 1-2-3 inning for Addison Fischer for usually Saturday afternoon. First pitch to Savannah Pola. She rolls it over to second base. Kaylin Jones throws on to first. One pitch, one out for Elise Sokolski to begin the top half of the 5th.
And since that kind of rough at-bat versus Pinedo last inning, she's really settled in, kind of established what she can do, and just getting some quick outs is really a big part of it, and nothing much.
So 1 out and the base is empty. Jordan Woolery, the batter, drove in the game's first run, a sacrifice fly to right field in the 3rd inning. An inning where UCLA scored a pair of runs. That's pretty much, it's been all the scoring so far. 2-0 Bruins lead, and they didn't have a hit. Walked 3 times, an error by the Ducks, and then a couple of wild pitches. 1-0, Woolery. As that one glanced off the end of her bat, it's foul, 1-1.
In these high-ranked matchups, and both offenses are so high-powered, you don't really see the offenses do a whole lot. It's really down to the pitching. That's kind of what makes the difference. And we've seen that all season long for these two teams whenever they play top 25.
2-1, smacked hard, and it eats up Shinicki at shortstop as it caroms out to the second baseman, Jones. Should be a hard-hit single for Jordan Woolery.
Paige Shinicki just, she takes a beating out there at shortstop, and that one just a final little bounce hard off the bat of Jordan Woolery. There's not much you can do for that. Really great job by Shinicki, though, to kind of knock that down. Don't let it potentially be more.
That one was scalded off the bat. So now a runner on first for UCLA, and their big power hitting cleanup threat, Megan Grant. First pitch to the lefty outside.
Last time up, did get, as Aiden said, the Bonds treatment, and that just goes to show how dangerous.
Can't really walk her here with a runner on first. The 1-0, Grant takes the off speed on the outer edge. Nice pitch from Sokolski to even it up at 1-1.
Sokolski just going to start throwing strikes. Needs to be a bit aggressive. Just when she is aggressive, she gets the contact, and it's gone her way so far today.
1-1, Grant. Inside out swing, flares it back foul. Sokolski ahead 1-2.
We'll see where she wants to really pitch Grant. We saw on the other side, Addison Fischer, when she's facing lefties, she goes a lot up and in, kind of try to get him at the knob of the bat. Sokolski still trying to find out where she wants to attack.
Here's the 1-2 home. Skips way outside. Good job by Cox. Had a slide to her left. Right-handed batter's box to prevent that one from going behind her.
The worst thing you could do if you're Sokolski is leave something over the heart of the plate for Grant.
From the right hip, the 2-2 fire. One over the head of McCoy and down the right field line. It's trouble. Shaw has got to dig it out. Coming around from second is Woolery, and she's going to be stopped there. It's a 2-bagger for Megan Grant. Just had to be a little bit patient. Finally got the one she liked, and the lefty rips it down the right field line.
And that's what I was talking about. If you leave something kind of over the middle of the plate on that righty-lefty matchup, that one just tails a bit to the right, but not enough to kind of stifle the hit in any way, and finds the right field line. Great piece of hitting, and Megan Grant does what she does best.
I mean, that pitch looked like it was more towards the outside part of the plate. Just what a job by Grant. That's a tough ball to be able to pull. And she got it out into right field, just so strong with those wrists. So UCLA, another big opportunity here. Pair of runners in scoring position, and Coach Lombardi for Oregon is going to go out to meet with her pitcher.
And she was in a situation like this in the third when UCLA got some of their runs, and they were able to get 2 across. So the Bruins are definitely in score mentality, and if they can bring some more on, then it might kind of just keep on piling on. I mean, you need the insurance 100% when you're going against the Oregon offense.
So just
pivotal.
a temperature check between Coach Lombardi and Elise Sokolski. She's going to stay in this game. Jordan Woolery on third base and Megan Grant on second after that double. 2 hits in the inning by UCLA, now out hitting Oregon 5-1. And we'll have a pinch runner in for the Bruins. It's going to be Taylor Stevens running for Woolery now at third.
Stevens, interestingly, just a great story. I mean, going to UCLA, she's actually a distant relative of Jackie Robinson, apparently. What an interesting connection to have.
Also another pinch runner, Lauren Hatch, takes Grant's place at second base. First pitch from Sokolski to Bragg is a called strike. So the Bruins utilizing their speed off the bench. Stevens at third and now Hatch at second. Sokolski 0-1, another off speed that dips above the zone, 1-1.
Can't have any runners come across for Sokolski.
Bragg has had a nice day up to this point, a single back in the second and then a walk in the third. The 1-1 pitch, swinging that one hit off her ankles. It's ends up a foul ball, 1-2. So Sokolski had 2 strikes on Megan Grant, gave up a double. Has 2 strikes on Kanaya Bragg. And looking for a big second out here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-2. This one grounded to third. Flannery plays it on a hop, tries to go back to third, and bluffed the throw to first, doesn't throw over. Saw that Stevens, the pinch runner, was cheating off of third, tried to go back in to tag her, but she got back safely. So I think that might end up as a fielder's choice for Bragg, and now the bases are loaded.
And Flannery, you want to get that lead runner out, but also that out at first could prove valuable. So the decision, could it be costly? We'll just have to wait and see, but Lombardi definitely talking with the umpire.
And at least live, it looked like to me that Stevens got back safely into third. Flannery would have needed to apply the tag, not just step on the base. And now this really complicates things for Oregon. Bases loaded for the Bruins, top of the 5th inning. And Riley Slimp, the scheduled hitter for UCLA.
Yeah, and the only positive you really take from that with the bases loaded and 1 out is the double play is now on, and Oregon, a great infield they have with Paige Sinicki kind of captaining in, Kaylin Jones as well, are able to turn 2, but still a bit far-fetched.
And so we're going to actually get a review. The umpires are going to go to the review monitor to take a look to see if Flannery got that tag on Stevens trying to go back into third base. But either way, UCLA is going to have a runner on first. Kanaya Bragg will be occupying that bag. Stevens is either going to be safe or out. As we'll get another look, it was just a one-hopper. Flannery makes a nice play, and Stevens kind of had her mind made up in the middle whether she wanted to commit to home or just go back to third or just stay in the middle. Decided to choose the latter, but call in the field was that she got back into third safely. We'll see the ruling.
Yeah, and I think the call in the field would end up standing after this one. Just not enough evidence. We'll see if angles the umpires are looking at, but it was a smart decision from Stevens to not commit to going home. Probably would have been thrown out, especially with the arm that Flannery has, able to just quickly get it. So good decision from her, and now the Bruins are bases loaded.
Already saw the Ducks challenge successfully in the first inning. That was the only hit for Oregon up to this point, a little dribbler by Kedri Luchar that she initially got called out on a great play by Jordan Woolery at third base, but that got overturned. The Ducks putting another challenge into motion.
And these challenges in these highly contested games and so important for your season, they really matter. But this one, I don't know. To me, Aiden, it seems a little bit hard if you're gonna get the call here if you're the Ducks.
It was a good idea by Flannery. It's what you're supposed to do as a middle infielder with a runner in that spot. Check him back to the bag. So we'll get one more look. Stevens kind of caught up and then I guess snuck in her left foot before the tag. It looked pretty tough to tell, at least from that vantage point, but here we go. Umpires out of the review side. And now they overturn it again. The second successful challenge by Melissa Lombardi and a huge out for the Ducks.
In what seems like a day that hasn't gone your way for the Ducks, the two things that have gone their way have been the challenges. Melissa Lombardi, 2 for 2 now, and that one is more pivotal than the first one. We now have 2 outs, runners on first and second, whole different ball game.
So for those of you scoring at home, Kanaya Bragg reaches on a fielder's choice, and then the pinch runner, Taylor Stevens, out at third base, 5 unassisted on the Katie Flannery putout. Lauren Hatch is the other pinch runner still standing at second base. Now 2 down in the inning for Riley Slimp. Righty against lefty. She swings and misses through the off-speed pitch to Sokolsky. It's 0-1.
And in situations like this, Jane Sanders Stadium comes alive. And it's going to empower Sokolsky. She throws that one in for a hard strike.
And the 0-1 outside. Maybe, Dylan, that's something that can just kind of rejuvenate this crowd, because so far Addison Fischer in the circle for the Bruins, she's been dominant, only allowed 1 hit and a walk, is kind of taking the energy out of this sold-out crowd.
Yeah, she's been absolutely stone cold in such a big game.
The 1-1, another off-speed, another called strike.
And when Sokolsky can land the off-speed at these crucial moments, it proves why she's one of the best pitchers kind of in the Big Ten, potentially in the nation, just the way she's able to control her pitch selection.
Trying to end the inning. The 1-2, Slimp hits it the other way. Luchar angling towards the line. Diving catch, full layout in foul ground. And takes high from Addison Fischer, 1-0. The top of the 5th ended on a diving catch by Kai Luchar. An amazing play. See if that rejuvenates the Ducks bats that have pretty much been dormant. Only 1 hit up to this point against Fischer. The 1-0, Patman swings, sends that one to the left center field gap. It's down for a hit as it gets by the left fielder Slimp. Patman is going to turn this one into 2 and stop right there. And it's a big round of applause for these Duck supporters in the packed house here with the Jane. A leadoff double for Desiana Patman.
And that's one that's going to put a spark plug into things. Desiana Patman, you get a little bit lucky with Slimp in left field, just not getting her glove down enough. If you look at that again, kind of trying to run onto that, maybe get Patman holding at first or throw her out at second if she stretched it, but was able to stand up.
I saw Slimp get a little more aggressive, try to just scoop it with the glove, take a stab at him instead of just putting her body in front of it. Patman, who has decent speed, he was thinking to try to get to second that whole way. She does. Leadoff double for the Ducks, and Patman, I believe, is going to be pinch ran for. She will. That's going to be Reagan Legg taking her place. Legg primarily has been used as a pinch runner this season for Oregon. So the Ducks are going to bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Ayanna Shaw. Shaw bunted for a hit last night, and the Bruins' defense on the infield has already played in, anticipating that.
I think the bunt will probably be an outcome here for Ayanna Shaw. Just advance the runner to third, and you only have 1 out.
So Fischer working with the runner on base. And Shaw went around on the bunt. Missed it, and it's 0-1. Just the second hit in the game for the Ducks.
That's why this crowd was just so electric after that one. You hear the ovation and the claps going around. Just not an offensive day for the Ducks.
Shaw swings and misses. Tried to kind of just cut her bat at it and came up empty again. It's 0-2. I definitely won't be bunting. 2 strikes on her. Fischer looking for a big first out for UCLA with a runner on second. And her 0-2 pitch, Shaw tops that one down the third baseline. Off the end of her bat, it's foul.
And that's definitely the idea of what you want to do. Just kind of get that down the third baseline, but slightly weak contact, and advance the runner.
Fischer's 0-2. Shaw grounds it to first. Grant's only play is going to tag the runner. And Ayana Shaw claps her hands, says she got her job done. Reagan Legg up to third base now with 1 out in the inning.
That's all you really need to do. Shaw does the job, and now if Kaylin Jones up to bat, not necessarily known for kind of the RBIs, but she's known for getting on, so can they pass the torch and keep it going?
The Bruins got 1 slap hitter and Ayana Shaw out. Kaylin Jones another one up at the dish. Reagan Legg standing on third. First pitch, Jones takes the off-speeder a little bit high and outside. It's ball 1.
And Legg just ready to pounce at any given moment. And Mujica behind the dish definitely needs to be cognizant of it.
The 1-0, Jones swings, floats that one off the roof of Oregon's dugout. They're housed on the third base side here at the Jane. And that ball, look at the spin on that thing. It's still going. Look at it.
That is like a dreidel right there.
Finally stops. No one's going to get it. So the count, a ball and a strike on Kaylin Jones. She's 0 for 1. Grounded out to first base. She takes outside. Ahead in the count now, 2-1.
Good lead from Jones, and definitely a close pitch from Addison Fischer. Wants to paint that right side.
Bruins infield played way in again. 2-1, Jones, ground ball. Grant overlooks to home and now flips to first for the out. Good play. Stared back the runner in Legg and then threw it on to first to Savannah Pola, who was covering. Good defense by the Bruins. And now there's 2 outs with the runner on third.
And everything there for UCLA. Perfection from Grant staring down at home and then giving it to Pola at first. The rotations were just on point. And Legg thought about it. But if you go there, you're definitely getting thrown out.
Now the Bruins defense on the infield backs up to normal depth with 2 outs. Katie Flannery, the batter, takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Flannery, it has I think been a little while since she's gone deep. 9 home runs on the season for the Ducks' third baseman. She takes outside again and now into a hitter's count. 2 balls, no strikes.
And we've seen her bat in that 5th spot a couple times earlier this season, but since the Michigan series, she's really had a streak to forget.
At least put Oregon on the board. The 2-0, Flannery watches the slow stuff from Fischer. Split the heart of the plate. Good pitch.
Slows it down to 57. The difference from her is really big, and that one just looping down.
The 2-1, Flannery in swing mode. Went after a pitch that wasn't in the zone. Fouled it away. 2-2.
Just wants to survive. And if you give something inside to Flannery, she has really quick hands, able to get the hands to the ball quickly and just flick the wrists.
Fischer's 2-2, Flannery. It's that one the other way. Look out, 18th Avenue.
Definitely duck your heads. Maybe drive a little faster.
The 2-2 again. Flannery swings and gets a piece. Ducks led off this inning with a Desiana Patman double on the second pitch of the frame. Ayana Shaw grounded out to Megan Grant at third to move the pinch runner Reagan Legg up to third, and then Kaylin Jones Grounded out 3-4 on the last putout. The 2-2. Flannery swings, ropes that down the left field line, but way out in front of it. It's twisting well foul.
Yeah, into the bullpen dirt. And what a battle here. Could prove to be one of the most important at-bats of the game for either team. With 2 outs, Oregon, you cannot allow that runner not to cross.
Ducks have just had 3 base runners all day on 2 hits and a walk. Pitch number 8 coming up, Flannery against Fischer. Who will win this battle? The 2-2 up and away. Almost got away from the catcher Mujica, and the count is full.
And that's the type of pitch Leg would be going on, but great job from Mujica just to jump up like a frog coming out of the crouch and keep that one within reach.
Fischer looking at the band on the left wrist. The 3-2, Flannery, ground ball to shortstop. Bragg has it, shuffles over towards second, and throws her out. So leadoff double for the Ducks does not produce a run. Good job by Addison Fischer to dance over for Stacy Chambers with 2 outs in the second inning, and since then been pretty good. Just a couple of unforced errors by Oregon. That's the reason UCLA has a 2-0 lead. Pinedo the batter, and she takes low. Excuse me, that's Alexis Ramirez, who started this game for UCLA, was pinch hit for by Pinedo in the 4th, but now Ramirez back in her 7th spot. Sokolski's 1-0. A swing and a little roller back to the circle. Sokolski, easy throw onto McCoy at first for the first out.
And that's why pitchers do a little bit of fielding practice pre-game, just to be able to make that nice and easy play, a little dribbler, get the first out. And Sokolski's been hunting that first out every inning, but this time it comes to her easy.
Sokolski has retired the first batter of an inning now 3 frames in a row. Dating back to the 4th, and it brings up the catcher Sofia Mujica. Opening pitch of the AB, a big rip and a miss. 0-1.
Definitely won all of that on the slow off speed. Was sitting on it, but still just not on time.
Mujica 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts. And the 0-1 skips in below the plate. For UCLA, they've only struck out 2 times, both of them looking against Lindsey Grine. It was the first 2 batters of the game, Jessica Clemens and Savannah Pola. Since then, no strikeouts. The 1-1, Mujica pokes it the other way. Ayana Shaw over to make the catch. Good play for out number 2 here in the top of the 6th.
Routine for Ayana Shaw. Has an early read on it, and just take a couple steps to your left and get the out. First 2 outs for Sokolski are good.
There's Caitlin Terry, who has been really a thorn in Oregon's side, has reached base 2 times, walked in the 3rd and scored, and then doubled in the 4th. Doing a good job. What you're supposed to do as the 9-hitter, get on base and turn it over to the big bats at the top.
Yeah, she's really been doing just such a great job at that, like you said. The walk to turn over, then the double as well. Doing the job correctly.
1-0, up and in, 2-0. Sokolski has now thrown 4 full innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them unearned. That one error by Oregon back in the 3rd, looming large. The 2-0, fouled back. Lindsey Grine is warming up in the Oregon bullpen. Remember, she opened this game for the Ducks, went an inning. Two 2-1 to Terry. Hits that one the other way in foul ground. Kai Lushar running over, but will not have the opportunity to make a spectacular catch like she did last inning.
And Kai Lushar and spectacular catches, I mean, they really go hand in hand. I mean, she's had probably a dozen on the season for the Ducks. That one just out of reach if Jane comes alive.
Duck fans clapping their hands. Like to clap more if this inning can end right here. Sokolski's 2-2. Flared back foul will do it again.
Not a necessarily committed swing, but just sees that wants to survive. And on the 2-2 count, Sokolski, what can she go to?
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-0 UCLA. No one on here in the top of the 6th. In the second game of 3 this weekend. The 2-2 home. Hit the other way over the head of Flannery, outstretched her glove, and that one is laced into left. Luchar gets it in quickly, but Caitlin Terry again has been on base all 3 at-bats, a walk, and now 2 singles. She's 2 for 2.
It's really gritty from her. I mean, she's worked 3 great at-bats. 2 of them have ended in hits. 1 of them ends in a walk. And all against Elise Sokolski. You said it best, Aiden. Definitely the thorn in her back.
Take another look, just taking a step to the front of the left-handed batter's box and poking it the other way. It's just a good piece of hitting. Top of the order, Jessica Clemens up with now a runner on first and 2 down. Watches it high from Sokolski, 1-0.
And for Sokolski, something that you want to change, get that first pitch strike down. Hasn't really landed it much this game. Something you want to correct if you want to have more smooth sailing.
The top of UCLA's order has been the one that kind of struggled a little bit. Clemens takes just outside. Borderline pitch, but called a ball. 2-0. And Jessica Clemens today struck out in the first, reached on an error in the third, and then grounded out to Sinicki at shortstop in the fourth.
Yeah, different from yesterday, where the top of the order, all 3 of them got on base, got a hit. It was the middle part that couldn't do much.
2-1, chopped over the head of Sinicki and over the second base bag into center field. Going first to third is Terry. The throw to third, she is safe. And then taking second base on the advancement is Clemens. Good base running by the Bruins, and once again a 2-out rally has them with 2 runners in scoring position.
Aggressive and great from UCLA. That one is a dribbler through the middle of the infield, but that's right back towards the pitcher, and she's going to go through the middle. Runner and Terry advances, and like you say, great base running from the Bruins.
I think the throw to third was worth the shot by Luchar. They definitely had a chance to get Terry pretty close, just a little bit off the line. And Coach Lombardi is out to make a pitching change. Going to have a new arm coming in the circle. It's going to be the sophomore right-hander Taylor Spencer taking the place of Elise Sokolski. Will step aside, come back. Bruins 2, Ducks nothing in UCLA with runners on second. Dallas against the Beavers was pretty good. Went an inning and a third and didn't allow a run. First pitch to Savannah Pola upstairs. Pola, the Bruins second baseman, is 0 for 2 today. Within 3 at-bats, a sacrifice bunt back in the third. The 1-0. Off speed, drifts up and in, 2-0. And for the Ducks, this is the 4th arm they have used. First it was Lindsey Grind, then it was Stacy Chambers, Elise Sokolski, who just departed, and now Taylor Spencer. Second time in the last 3 games the Ducks have used 4 different pitchers. The 2-0. That one is up and outside, 3-0.
Yeah, in these games, you have to rely on so much on your depth. Can everybody step up? And you hear Paige Sinicki talking about this whole team can do a great job no matter where they're put, and see if Spencer can really help live up to that.
And the 3-0, taking all the way is Pola, and she takes a called strike to make it 3-1.
And last time Spencer pitched against UCLA her freshman year, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts, so nothing too bad, but the earned run don't want it to come across here. It wouldn't come earned, but they still let it up.
The 3-1 home. Fouled the other way, and it's 3-2.
Good swing from Pola. She has the ability, with her high average, 42 RBIs, to change the
Ducks
game and really
looking
blow it
for
open.
a strikeout. They haven't gotten one since the second batter in the first inning. Bruins have been doing a good job putting the ball in play, making the Ducks work. A full count pitch from Spencer is outside, ball 4. She thought she had it, but Vince Price says, no, ball 4. Savannah Pola walks, and the bases are now juiced for UCLA.
And a bit of commotion from the Oregon crowd and fans. And that one was a tight one, but if you're Emma Cox, you might want to try to frame that a bit more in, as it was a little outside, it seemed, but close call nonetheless. Bases are juiced.
So up steps Jordan Woolery with a big hit. Probably would plate 2 runs. Looking to try to break this open for UCLA. First pitch from Spencer gets it in there. That's where UCLA struggled last night. They left the bases loaded in the 3rd inning against Lindsey Grine. Came back to bite him as the Bruins lost game 1 to the Ducks 3-1. Looking to try to even it up in this series with a win today. Spencer's 0-1. This one driven on a line out to left center. It is going to one hop up against the wall. 1 run is scored. 2 runs have scored. The 3rd one coming around. The throw is not in time at the plate. Savannah Pola scores all the way from first, and as it stands right now, it is a bases-clearing double for Jordan Woolery, and there is that breaking opening hit for UCLA. It's 5-0 Bruins.
This game is blown wide open, and that's just a costly pitch. It's found Jordan Woolery's bat the right way and scorches that one to the center left wall. No one able to make a play.
No chance for either Kai or Kedri Luchar. Good relay by the Ducks. Zanicki gave a good throw home, and I think Cox just a little bit late on the tag. Pola got her hand in there. A 3 RBI double as the umpires are going to go to talk about it. Already seen 2 calls overturned in this game, but it's at least going to be 2 runs for UCLA. And Jordan Woolery has just one right in her wheelhouse. You can't throw that. You're going to get burned.
Yeah, they did, and UCLA, they're already kind of in control. And now really at the steering wheel. Like you said, a good relay, and that's definitely a close play. But I think it looked like Emma Cox couldn't really glove the ball the way she wanted to, couldn't apply the tag in time.
Seemed like the throw from Zanicki, when it got to Cox's glove, her momentum didn't carry her glove into the runner. She kind of had to catch it and then kind of manually go over and tag the runner. I think that's what made the difference.
Yeah, and just it's really a game of inches, Aiden, and it kind of comes to show right there.
So it doesn't look like there's going to be a review. So officially, it's a 3 RBI double for Jordan Woolery. Scores Caitlin Terry, Jessica Clemens, and Savannah Pola, all with 1 swing of the bat. And the Bruins now lead Oregon 5-0 here in the 6th.
For Oregon, this is where the high-powered offense for UCLA is going to come and burn you. You use 4 pitchers, you have to go to the back of your rotation, and sometimes just not going to work out.
Here's Maddie Grant, try to intentionally walk her, and then the throw got away. The pitch got away. High to Emma Cox, and now Woolery moves up to 3rd.
And things are seeming to come crashing down a bit for the Ducks and unraveling in the 6th inning as the intentional walk will be placed. 2nd time for Grant this game.
It's interesting to me how softball hasn't adopted just the manager can come out of the dugout or the coach can say, intentional walk, throw up 4 fingers like they do in baseball now. But I guess sometimes what we saw a couple pitches ago happens. You throw one over the head of the catcher and then ends up costing you 60 feet.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, it's such a mental thing. I mean, you're purposely not trying to throw a strike. It was trying to get to the play. I mean, like you said, it is interesting how they haven't really adopted the rule. I mean, you see it all the time. It definitely would also save some time in the game.
So after the intentional walk, the 2nd of the day issued to Megan Grant. Now runners on the corners for UCLA. Still with 2 outs. The Ducks got the first 2 Bruin batters out in this inning. All of this scoring for UCLA coming with 2 down here in the 6th. Kanaya Bragg is the batter against Spencer. First pitch, she drives one deep left field. This one is way out of here. Over the protective netting in deep left center. Kanaya Bragg goes boom. And it's 8-0 UCLA.
And the Bruins pouring out of the dugout, trying to make Jane Sanders Stadium their home. And on this Saturday afternoon, they've done just that. 7-0 reads the scoreboard, Aiden.
Bad turning to worse for the Ducks. Take another look. Kanaya Bragg barreled this one up.
That's just a moonshot. I mean, straight from the bat, Bragg knew it. It was just looping and gone.
So 6 runs in for UCLA. All of this again coming with 2 outs. Riley Slimp up to bat. The 9th hitter to step up in the box for UCLA. She takes outside.
In an 8-0 ball game, if you're the Ducks, Spencer, you might as well just go in attack mode and really just do what you can to finish out this game in a positive way.
Duano, that's a called strike. This is unfamiliar territory for the Ducks this season. The biggest deficit they've faced all year. Really, Oregon, you look at it, with 40 wins, haven't faced a lot of deficits this year. It's been a couple of runs here and there, but 8-0, something they're not used to. 1-1 pitch is a strike.
Yeah, and now they're kind of going towards run rule territory, and like you said, Oregon, very unfamiliar, and the offense just hasn't had any signs of life. With only 2 hits to UCLA's 9. They really put it together on the Saturday afternoon, Aiden.
This one grounded to Spencer. She's able to cut it off, throw on to first to McCoy to end the inning. But the damage, it has been done in a big
to unravel. And Spencer, just a day you kind of want to forget. And this whole Oregon pitching staff, just not what you want. And kind of how it all unfolded, going through 4 pitchers. Bryant out after 1, Chambers out after 2/3. Just so much, like, kind of just a very odd day for Melissa Lombardi, I guess, in terms of how you organize the pitching staff, but one to forget.
And we knew this was going to be a series coming in, right? You know, number 6 UCLA, number 5 Oregon. Obviously, the score in today's game is not really indicating how close it's been, but last night's game, razor-thin margin. The Ducks won 3-1 in a couple big swings, and I know UCLA's up 8-0, but a couple of big swings have really put them in the driver's seat in this game. Is just hitting in big moments. That's been the key to victory for Oregon on Friday, and then probable victory today for UCLA.
Yeah, you talk about big moments. I mean, no bigger moment than 2 outs. I mean, Spencer comes in with 2 outs and gives up the hits and gives up the home run and get the bases clearing double. 2 out hitting on point for UCLA, and from 7 runners left on yesterday to, not really many. Definitely a difference.
Kai Luchard swings to the first pitch, slaps it to left field for a base hit. A wide turnaround first, but she's going to pump on the brakes. Good start for Oregon. They need at least 1 run to keep this thing going. If they're unable to score, it would be a run rule victory for UCLA. Kai Luchard gets her first hit of the afternoon.
Kai Luchard, a little bit of a off streak for her over the past week or so, and trying to get it back into gear. The least you can do in a large deficit game is try to salvage something, especially in the latter stages.
That brings up Kedri Luchard. Kai dancing off first as Kedri Luchard takes a strike. 0-1. Defensive substitution in the ballgame for UCLA. Out in left field, Liesel Osteen is in for Riley Slimp. Fischer's 0-1. That one bounces in. Luchard, good recognition, took off to second base and gets there without a throw. We'll see if they credit her with a stolen base. I think she was going the whole time. And that pitch a little bit wild from Fischer, but either way, Luchard gets herself up to second. And they will. Stolen base for Kai Luchard.
And yet another stolen base on the tally for Luchard. She keeps piling them up.
The 1-1, Kedri Luchard, swing and a miss, got tied up on a pitch inside. So for Kai Luchard, just adding on to already the program record for most stolen bases in a single season. That's steal number 46. Fischer's 1-2, Luchard grounds it foul.
And Addison Fischer has just been so dominant. I mean, we talk about how the UCLA offense has really powered them, but also Addison Fischer. I mean, she's been locked down, only 2 hits, 2 strikeouts for her, and just really stifling this Oregon offense.
1-2. Luchard pokes it over to shortstop. Bragg throwing to first. She's been busy and has been up to the task each and every time. Good play. But Kai Luchard advances to third now with 1 out here in the inning.
And McCoy wants to extend this game and give them a chance. And, well, in softball, you can definitely make up a deficit this large in an inning or 2. It's a tall order, but McCoy, that's what's on her mind. Get the runner in, extend the game.
Ellie McCoy 0 for 2 today with 2 ground outs, both to Kanaya Bragg. First pitch, McCoy, floater. It will get into the seats about 4 rows deep.
They just missed the catch. Laughing about it. Can't glove the foul ball. The spectators 4 rows back.
It's hard to get it without a glove.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I had a foul ball come my way. I was calling Oregon softball at Oregon State. Just a little bit out of my reach, however. 0-1, McCoy, grounder. Guess who? Bragg checks the runner, throws back to first in time. Bragg is something else. Just an anchor defensively, and then did it with the bat last inning. 2 down.
Yeah, she's definitely on the watch list for potential Gold Glovers or any really fielding awards. And I mean, you've seen it today. She's had 7 putouts, something around that number. And like you said, she's been a busy bee on the spring day.
So for Oregon, they're down to potentially their last out, 8-0 UCLA. Kai Luchard standing on third. If she's not able to cross, this game would be over on the next out. Emma Cox, the catcher, against Addison Fischer. First pitch, Cox launches this one way out ahead of it, down the left field line and out of play.
On to the concourse. And concourse once was a pretty packed. Starting to thin out a little bit, Aiden.
UCLA with a 6-run 6th inning. Bruins with 8 runs on 9 hits, 1 error. They've left 7 on base. Oregon, no runs, 3 hits, 1 error. They've left 3 on base. Addison Fischer, the pitcher for UCLA, 1 out away from a complete game shutout. This season, she has 5 complete games. Trying to get number 6. The 0-1 to Cox. She grounds it foul. Back to the screen, 0-2. Oregon won Friday night 3-1 against UCLA. The Bruins knocking on the door of evening up this series at 1 game apiece and setting a rubber match on Easter Sunday tomorrow. First pitch will be at 2 p.m. Fischer ready. The 0-2. Cox checked her swing. They say she didn't go.
Emma Cox, you just don't want to be last out. Not a good feeling. Wants to extend this game.
Fischer again. The 1-2. Cox ground ball to third, but just foul. Flirting with that third base line. She stays alive to see another.
Yeah, puts a cork into that one. And good swing, but bit early. Trying to find some outfield grass. But the Bruins are bearing down on this win.
After back-to-back foul balls. Here's the pitch. Fischer strikes out. Cox swinging, and the ball game is over. They throw down to first, and that will do. What a homecoming for Addison Fischer. Her first game pitching back in the state of Oregon. A 6-inning complete game shutout, and the Bruins take game